Hello, I'm Dave Speakman. Just going to do a quick video now to explain how a Patchbay works. Some of the best resources anyway for Patchbay stuff is the Sound on Sound article about Patchbays, but also the user manuals of consoles. So if you look in the user manual for like the Excel desk, like mine, I've got some videos about my Excel desk here, or like an SSL AWS or something like that, it will show you the recommended Patchbay layout for that console, and that might give you some ideas as to how to lay your own Patchbay out in your own facility or home studio. Cool, so my Patchbay is on 1/4 inch. Shock horror. Yeah, so it's absolutely massive, and I have thought about going with Bantam before now. I've thought about it lots of times and I've priced it up. It's really, really expensive. A lot of these Patchbays I had, some of them are on loan from friends who've had Patchbays and then they've not needed as many Patchbays as they've got. Basically, I have everything on my SSL and all of my outboard. Absolutely everything comes out on the Patchbay in my studio. I find it really frustrating if you go into a facility and there's something that should be on the Patchbay and it isn't. It's so versatile being able to patch things wherever you want. And the basic premise of it being that like the inputs and outputs that are on the back of any of these pieces of equipment all come up on the Patchbay. And the desk, the converters, everything just comes up on the Patchbay. There are 3 main types of connection on a Patchbay, and I label them accordingly, and this is a fairly standard way of labeling things that you see in a lot of studios. Anytime that you plug a plug into something that's red, it's going to break that connection from the top row to the bottom row. So all Patchbays work in 2 rows. So the most obvious thing to understand is fully normaled, which this top row is fully normaled at the moment. So you can see the live room input. So if you plug into the box downstairs in the live room, then that will flow straight into the first input of the 4710, which is this preamp here. If I wanted to plug a different preamp into 17, or I want to use it to send something downstairs or anything else, I don't still want that to feed into that preamp. So when I plug into this, it's going to disconnect. That's called normaled or fully normaled. The other quite common thing that you see is half normaled. So you can see on channel 9, that comes in fully normaled to this 1073 preamp. And then on the next row, the output of that 1073 preamp is half normaled to the channel 9 on the XL desk, so on the console. If you plug in to the top row, you can see this is green. You can actually take what they call a sniff. I know, strange terminology, eh? You could take a sniff from this. Whereas if you plug into the bottom row, it's going to break the connection. That's why that's red. And that's the case with all half normaled Patchbays. So if it's half normaled, if you plug into the top, it doesn't break the connection. If you plug into the bottom, it does. Do give the video a like. Please do follow me and subscribe to the channel. It absolutely helps more than you can imagine when people subscribe and like the videos. Thank you. These are particularly useful on like the insert sends for the 500 series stuff on the XL desk. So the XL desk has 2 inserts. One's labelled 500, one's labelled insert. So channel 1, it goes out and it automatically goes into the E-series EQ on channel 1 of the desk. And then the output of that automatically returns to that insert return that's labelled 500 return. But if I want to use something different, I can plug something different into that. So if I plug from channel 4 into channel 1, I can use the EQ that's on channel 1 instead. and then I would take the send of that and I would plug that back into channel 4, if that makes sense. The other type of input that you have on a Patchbay is just isolated, and that's just a way of bringing something that's on the back to the front. The convention in Patchbays is always that outputs are on the top row and inputs are on the bottom row, and that's because outputs flow to inputs. So we tend to follow that same convention with outboard equipment. So we're looking at the inputs and outputs. You can see I've modded the Patchbay here. So we've got this compressor here, so the output of it is on the top row, the input for it is on the bottom row. And then I haven't bothered labeling up these. I know that it's the optical compressor that's over there. And I know that the input's on the bottom, the output's on the top. So if you've got something like an SSL6 or anything like that, if you've got an SSL6 or any sort of console, just having a little Patchbay. This is the patching just for the SSL6, it's here. I did a video about hooking the SSL6 up to a Patchbay. I'll link it here, wherever it is. So that's the basic premise of the Patchbay really, which is outputs on top, inputs underneath. It just enables you to be able to switch things around. You can see that on my Patchbay, a lot of this patching that's in is kind of how it lives. Now, you could argue that I could normal it this way, but I don't really want to start normaling like these preamps live on the mix bus. I don't really want them normaled to my master bus all the time. I just want it patched in like that. I can see where they are. And if I want to use them as preamps, I just unplug these and I can use them as preamps straight away. Same with headphone amps. I had normaled them in a previous way. I'd half normaled them. I changed these to isolated and now I hardwire the headphones to downstairs. Please do give the video a like. Please do subscribe to the channel. Hopefully this has been useful to some people. If anyone has any questions about Patchbays or anything like that, just give me a shout. I'm happy to answer anything that anyone wants to know about anything really. Yeah, cool.